Good morning, guys. Welcome to Daniel's training program. And today we are going to learn how to import data sets from R. So we are going to start with, before you are going to import your data sets into R, we are supposed to know your working directories. And when we say working directories, we are talking about where R normally goes to go and take your data from. So that's what you call your working directories. So this is the code to get your working directories. That's the get wd, that's get working directories. So this is the code for it. Let's run it. When you run it, you can see the working directories. My working directories is C /, user / isa / desktop / Jonas training program. So this is my working directories. So whenever you are going to import your data, you're supposed to bring your working directories. But with the working directories, you can change, maybe if you store it in your document, you can change the desktop to your document, then the name of your file that you have stored. So this one is your working directory. So we will just quickly move straight to how we can get data. I have inbuilt data. So in order to get some of the inbuilt data in R, I'm going to show you how you can get some inbuilt data in R so that you can use it for your analysis and those kind of stuff. So in order to get an inbuilt data in R, you use data, open and close your parentheses. So this is the code to get your data in R. Voila. So you can see there are so many data, inbuilt data in R. We have the air passengers, that's the monthly airline passengers numbers from blah blah blah. We have the boat, we have the CO2. We have so many inbuilt data here. We have so many inbuilt data here. But because of our training today, we are going to use iris data, inbuilt data. We are going to use iris inbuilt data. So in order to call out for your inbuilt data as in iris, you type again your data, then write the name of the data that you want. So we want iris, as you can see, but make sure you bring your column so that you just write your iris in it. So let's run it. Then in order to view, you write view iris. And so this is how the iris data sets look like. So we have the sepal.length, sepal.width, petal.length, and petal.width, and your species. So I think this one is talking about flowers. As we have the sepal, the petal, the flowers. And this one, the species, is talking about the species of flowers that we have. We have the setosa, we have the vesicular, and we have the verdinica. Yeah, these are the types of species that we have of flowers. So this is the data we are going to work with. So this is the overview of the data. So now let's quickly move to how we can save this kind of inbuilt data sets, and we use this for our analysis. In order to save inbuilt data, this is the code to save inbuilt data. You say write.csv. You want to store it at CSV. In Excel, we have different ways of storing data in Excel. We have the CSV file and we have the XLS file. So this time we are going to store it as a CSV file. So in order to store your inbuilt data as a CSV file, we are going to use this code, which is write.csv, open bracket, the name of the file, that's the iris, and your working directories will follow. So this is your working directories up to desktop. We want to store it at our desktop so that it will be easy for us to locate and work with. So you bring your iris.csv. This one is to tell out that you want to store iris in what? CSV. Then you bring your role.name equals to false. We don't want it to bring any names in it. So after running this one, it will save it in your as you can see here, you can see that it has already saved our file for us. So let's quickly go back. Now we want to call out our data. In order to call out your data, we have to save a data, your file, you have to save it. So this is the name we give it to our file, and you use read.csv because we want how to read our file, our iris file for us. So far as we store it in CSV, we are going to use CSV. So you use read.csv, you open brackets, your working directories will follow, then you bring your iris.csv. You bring your iris.csv. So let's quickly run it. So after running it, it will store it as my data, as your data name. So now let's view my data. Voila, you can see it as it was. So you go back. If you want to know maybe the first 20 beginning of your data set, we are going to use what we call head. The code for it is head my data, 20. So this one is going to bring the first 20 of your data set. So as you can see over here, that's bring your first 20, it's up to 20. So this one is the first 20 of your data sets. And if you use tail, we have a code tail to use it for your last 6 data sets. If you want to view your last 6 data sets, maybe if you want to see the end of your data set, use the tail. You can see, so the data set is up to 150. So this one is your last 6 of your data sets over here. So now we have different ways of importing data. This one is you using the code, maybe with one way or the other, you are forgetting of the code. The simplest way you can import. You can import the data sets from your desktop. So in order to import the data set from your desktop, you go to File and you see Import Data Set here. So you scroll, then you come here. We have from Excel. So we are going to use from Excel. Immediately you click Excel, a pop-up menu will appear. Then you go to this working space, you go to Browse. That's where you are going to take your data set from. So desktop. Then go and look for the data set iris. So you can see iris is here. So we click on it and to load. Because this one we are not using, I'll only open XLS data files. So this one, because it's CSV, it will give you this kind of error. Never mind, just click OK. And come here, then copy this working space here, copy iris and its view, copy iris and its view, right click, you copy, then you cancel, then you come here, then you paste. So I've already pasted it already in my working space. Let me paste it again so that you see that. Okay, so as you can see, there's the same. So just click here and run it. Sorry, here's supposed to be .csv because it's a CSV file. Don't forget doing your .csv. So voila, it has worked. Then you view it if you want to view it as it is. So our normal data. Don't have any problem with it, our normal data. So you go back. So now I'll teach you how to import a CSV file and how to store inbuilt data. How to store inbuilt data from out to your desktop or from out to your documents, anywhere you want to store it. So now you are going to Excel file, how you can import and save inbuilt data in Excel. So here, in order to store it as an Excel file, you are going to install a package. So install.package, that's what we used to do, call out a package. In R, before you work on some kind of course, you have to install some package and call out that package so that it will be easy for you to work with it. If you don't install that kind of package, it will be very difficult for you to work with it. So you go to install the package, you run it. I've already installed it, so I'll just go to library. Our library mine. This is the package that we need. Write XL. So this one we are going to deal with the XLX file. So you library your Excel, then this is the code to save an Excel document in XLX file. If you want to save an inbuilt data of iris in an Excel file, that is what you're going to use. It's the same thing as the CSV file we did earlier on, but just that this time you are using what? You change the right word, XLSX. Here it was write.csv, but here it is what? write_XLSX. So it's just the same thing. So don't just panic. So let's run it. After running it, you have already stored it in your document, because this one will show you the location where you have stored it. So this is the desktop, so that means you have stored it in the desktop. Now let's call it out. Let's read it. So you use the read Excel to read your, your Excel file that you have stored. So this time I'm saving it as my data 2. I'm saving it as my data 2. So you say my data 2 is equals to read_Excel, then your working directory plus the file name. So the file name is iris.xls. That's how you store it here. That's what you bring it here. So don't change it. And view our data too. Voila, so it's everything. So now you know how to save your inbuilt data in your desktop so that you can use it for your analysis as well. So this one, if you want to know the first 10, the other one was for the CSV, I use 20, so I'm using 10. The first 10 of it, so this is your first 10 of it. And this one you can just list your columns as well to just give you your column. So this one, we also have the shortcut for this one. So let's quickly go through. So that one, so you go to file, you go to import from Excel, you go to browse, I go to my desktop, and I'm going to look for my iris file. So this is my iris. I click on it. So this one, because it's an XLSX file, you see that this time we didn't get any error. Because that's what R can import. But if it was with CSV, you get error, but you ignore the error and just copy and paste as well. So this one you can copy everything here. That's the code preview. So just copy everything on the code preview. Copy it. You cancel. After that, you can come and paste it successfully over here. Then you run it. So you can see it as well. Just the same thing as well. So this one is not a difficult task. It's very easy. So if you want to know the data type, on our previous video we did how to know what data type, whether it's numeric, whether it's character. So if you want to know the data type of each column of your data set, let me show you the columns. So these are the columns. You have the separ length, separ width, petal length, petal width, and your species. So if you want to know, you can even guess it. This one will be what? Numeric. They are all numbers. Numeric. This one is numeric. This numeric. This numeric. And this is what? Character. So let's see. So we use this code. That's the str, that's the structure. If you want to know the structure or the data type of it, once you click, you can see it. So our sepal length is what? Sepal length is numeric. Our petal rate is what? Numeric. Petal length is what? Numeric. Petal width, numeric, and our species is what? Character, as said earlier on. Now we want to know the class of our data, that's the iris data. In order to know the class of it, we use class as the code. So this one is even easy to get it. And if you say class, you want to know in which kind form the your data set is being stored, whether it is a data frame or something like that, because it's when you are working with some kind of data, you'll be getting error when you're doing your analysis. So you're supposed to change it into a data frame so that it will be easy for you to work. So now let's see which what class it is. So class, now we have the tbl underscore df, tbl, and data frame. So now we have three classes, which is not good for us to work with. So now I'll change my data into what? A data frame. So we use as.data.frame to change it to become what? Only a data frame. So I'll store that one as A, and I'll use as.data.frame of my what? My data set. So I'll click on it, and I'll now find a class of A. So you can see that now it has stored it as what? A data frame for us to use. Or you can even use all the codes, just class open bracket as.data.frame of your what? Your file name, then it will be easy for you as well. So that's all for how to store and inbuilt data from out to your working space or your desktop or your document, so that you can call it out and do one or know the data type of it, know the class, and change it into a what? Data frame so that your analysis will be easy. So this time we are going to control flow. We are going to a control flow. That's using some logical operation on it. So you just quickly brush through this one, are just basic logical things. So we store our x as 10 and store our y as 5. This one is just giving it any random number so that I'll use it to explain the if, the else, and the else if analysis. So with the if they say something is if, let's look at this argument. They say that if x is greater than y, we should print x, and our x is what? 10, and our y is what? 5. So definitely x is greater than y, which is 5. So it will print what? The value of x for us. So let's run this code and see. So you can see that we will get 10. So we will get 10. So that's what it's talking about. So this code is for beginners, but since we started with us from day one, we have to upgrade you. So this is the code. It's basically the same thing, but this one you have just modified it a little bit. So this basically everything. If you run, you still get it. Same answer. This one they say we should print what? Y right now. So someone will say, how did I write it? Let me just quickly write this. It will be if open brackets x is greater than y, so just bring your parentheses. So after that, and you see that the cursor will be in between the parentheses, so you just click on enter, and that's all. Then just write your print open brackets x. So that's it. It's not any difficult thing, just that if the cursor comes between the parentheses, you just click enter. It will just send the other parentheses to the other side. So that's it for the if. So I think the if is well explained. Now we are going to else. So now our x is already 10 over there. We are not changing the value for x. So now we are just changing the value for y. Y was 5, initially 5, so now we are changing it to 25. We are changing it to 25. So now let's see how the else logical operation works. So they say that if x is less than y, if x is less than y, now our x is 10 and our y is what? 25. So we should print what? X. So 10 is less than 25, so we should print x. Else you should print what? Y. If they say else, else means if the statement is false. If this statement x is not less than y, it will print the value of what? Y. But since this one x is 10 and y is 25, you can see that it will print the value of what? X. So let's run it and see. Voila, you have seen that it has already print what? 10. That's the value for x for us. Now let's see in the other case if it's not like that. Let me say now let's say our y is equals to 7. So let's run this and see our output. So you can see that it will print the value of y for you because now it's false. X is 10 and your y is 7, which is false. So it will not print x, it will rather go back and go and print what? Y. So that's how the else operation works. If you are adding the if and the else together. Do you get me? Yeah. So now let's go to our third example here. So our third example is the what? If else or else if. Else if function. So this one we are combining if, else if, and the else. Do you get me? So now let's assign y as what? 20. And this one is telling us that if x is greater than y, we should print what? X. Else if y is equal to, this one for equal to, you bring two equal sign. If you bring one, that means you are assigning. So immediately in R, if you want to do equal to, you bring two equal sign. So else if y is equal to x, you should print what? X and y are what? Equal. Do you get me? Else you should print what? Y. So now our x is what? 10. X is 10 and our y is what? 20. So what do you think the answer will be? So you can see that this one, x is not greater than y. So it will come here. It will come and print what? The value of what? Y over here. If we have to change y to 10 so that it will be equal as the x. So now the x is 10, the y is 10. So let's see what it will do. It will print the what? The value for what? Else if. So they say if it is else if, you should say x and y are what? Equal. You can see that we say x and y are equal. So this is the end of the class for today. How to import your data set and how to save an inbuilt data set in R in your working space on your desktop or your document so that you can use it for your analysis. There are so many inbuilt data in R as I showed you earlier on. So after that, we did some 1 or 2 logical operations. That's the if, else, and the else if analysis. So this is the end of the class. Thank you, and God willing, our next video will be out very soon. Thank you very much.